we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall, debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall, debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited, mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. In the ring we stand tall. Words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Will be heard. Will be heard.
Spartans! What is your profession? This is Sparta!
What is going on, everybody? We're back at it with another stream, another live. You know where you're at. You're at Spartan SQ Network. I am your host, the Spartan, aka Peter. Excuse me. How is everybody doing tonight? We had a little difficulties beginning. That was my fault. I clicked the wrong button. Oopsies. But we're live. Tonight's topic is something I've been realizing for a while. What I'm maybe realizing is men are gonna call men out on their shit. No problems. But women will protect women no matter what. Even they're both in the wrong, or even she and her friend are in the wrong. They're still going to protect each other for some reason. But men are gonna throw each other under the bus. Fuck that shit. We're gonna run over your ass. You're fucking wrong. We're going your shit up, dude. Don't care fuck it wrong or right. If you're in the wrong, you're going to get called out. If you're in the right and you're acting like an idiot, I'm still going to call you shit out. But women are going to protect women no matter what. And I think that culture needs to change a little bit. If a woman's in the wrong, no matter if she's right or acting like an asshole, you still need to get called out. But if you get called out, you get butthurt. And I think that is a little bit wrong in a lot of shape, ways, or forms. But we need to fix that mindset in a lot of shape, way, or forms. And it needs to be fixed immediately, I believe. And it needs to be fixed by one person to the second person, if that makes sense. And it needs to be corrected. So, which way do I want to go with this? Women have a long, strong side by side in a moment of temper, anger, and issues. Even they're not in the right, they're in the wrong. They will get involved with that drama no matter what. They will get into it and that bullshit. And that is part of one of the issues. We as men, we don't want that drama and issue. But it's funny how a man needs to protect a woman, but a woman won't protect a man. Not most women. There are few women out there that will protect their man. They will protect the man at all needs necessary. They need to understand this is a double-edged sword. It doesn't go one way. It doesn't go the other way. It's a double-edged sword. If you guys are not supposed to protect us, so why is it okay? We need to protect you. Or they get mad when, let's say you're in a relationship and your best friend is out of line. And that is some of the times the problem. They get mad, oh, you didn't say anything. Why? He's my boy. But when their girlfriends are out of line, oh, you can't say anything to her. She's going through shit. But that's a double standard. Those are the topics I want to speak about tonight. I also want to speak about a little bit about, what's my notes?
I think one of the most fulfilling.
That's not what I'm looking for. Why in our culture today, men must protect women. And another topic I do like to speak about is women protecting men, because that's a double-edged sword. So we're going to tackle three topics tonight: women protecting women, men protecting a woman, and a woman protecting a man. And those are serious topics. And I love how I really get a kick out of this one. And I did a show on it, and I'm gonna come back to it again probably in the new year. I want to do another show with it because we do have a lot more hosts on the channel now, and I wanted to see their opinion about it. And I did it a while back. Is you don't need a man in your life, and I love how they do this. All that I don't need a man in my life, but when they cannot do something, let's say changing a tire or something like that. Oh, I need a strong man then, right? Mm-hmm. And I got in an argument with somebody. I'm like, oh, that's a career, it doesn't count. Yeah, it does. You don't see freaking women being mechanics out there as much. There are few, very few in between women who are actually mechanics. Can't say they can't do it. I'm not arguing that. Yes, they can. They can do it very well, actually, too. Like, it's very few women truck drivers. I don't think there are a lot out there. I don't know the statistics, but I know there are a few women who are truck drivers out there. But it's rare in between. There are very few women plumbers. They're out there, but rare. Because that is a manual labor. As much they want to be equal us, sometimes they can't because we have the upper body strength. We have a bigger physique than they do. Then you can tell me you have this woman who can lift more than men. Yeah, but how often is that? It's far and between. Most women are petite, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's very few, and we need to address those three topics today. We need to address all of those. Oh, excuse me. So I think everybody's running late today. Let me see where is everybody at. I know. Let me check where the guys are. So, and it just we're in a different world now that the equal rights between women and men are the margin is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Even in the military, and I'm not sure if finally passed or it isn't, but now they finally passed women can be in infantry. But the issue I have with that is, let's say she's a mother and she's looking down a scope, and you have this child who's going to shoot your fellow soldiers, man, or your fellow infantry, or whatever they're called, your unit. That's what I'm looking for. Are you going to be able to pull that trigger for them and take that kid out? I know it's kind of fucked up, all I'm saying. But when you're in combat, it's a whole different story now. I was never in the military, like you guys know, but I have a lot of friends in the military. And that is a topic I always ask all my friends who are in the military, and they keep telling me the same fucking thing is, can they actually pull the trigger when they really need to? That is the question sometimes. But in a relationship, I'm not talking about romantic or not romantic, friendship or whatever, cousins, brothers, and you always see the woman is always going to take the woman's side. I know when my boys are out and we're hanging out and they're fucking up, I'll come, dude, you fucked up all the time. I have no problem doing that. And it's something that we need to start working on more and more and more, because it is a situation that you cannot let them get away with it. Like, for example, I know this is a weird example, I'm going to use it. Men are expected to pay child support if you split with the woman. But I know some situations the man has full custody of the child, whatever reason. Maybe it's a home reason, is a because of expense. Who knows what the reason is? It could be a lot of reasons behind that. But one of the reasons doesn't matter what the other reason is. But the point I'm want to ask you guys is, do you also believe a woman should pay child support? I personally think so, yes. Because if my child is living with me and she's on her own doing whatever, yeah, she should be paying child support. Same thing like the man. He doesn't matter if he's with the woman or not. He's required to pay child support. Of course, it has to be his kid. But why is it a one-way standard, but not both ways? So why is it okay to have it always a one-way street when it comes to the woman topic? And that is the question. And it's a topic that needs to be discussed more often, I think. So like I always ask this women this: what does sisterhood mean to you girls? To you women? Sometimes emotional, they say, sometimes it's just connection or whatever. And ask them, why do you guys protect each other when you guys don't like each other sometimes? Oh, because she's still my sister no matter what. But you don't like her. It makes no fucking sense. If I don't like the dude, I don't like him. Simple as that. Simple as that. I'm like, and we always came to those people that we don't like. And through history, it's time of journey, I want to say, maybe, and time of struggle. Women have a form of a boundary between each other, between their friendships, the sisters, their cousins, their even sister-in-law sometimes. With a man, it's a little different. You have to build a bond. You have to it has time to grow, to make it stronger. And that is sometimes the issue. It's just about, it's not just about connection. It's about what's right. It's about doing the right thing. It's not about protection from standing up for each other or whatever. We got to come. Let's see what we got here. Child support is calculated by income on both parents. It doesn't matter with the gender is. Yes, but for the longest time, men are always expected to pay the child support. I know it varies from state to state. But I'm seeing more and more now lately that they're paying child support in different places. All right, let's get this guy in. He hasn't been on here for a while. Ooh, let the cat drag in. What's going on, my man?
Man, I'm good. I don't have any cats, but the dog drove me in over here. I'm good. What's going on? I get your links, and usually it's not at the times when I'm busy. I wasn't busy right now. Like, yo, let me go see what's up with Peter. How you been, bro?
Pretty good, actually. My work schedule changed. So on Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, we're going to be streaming an hour earlier because now I have to get up at 3:30 a.m. for work. Like my shift starts at 5:30. I got transferred, so you know that thrill is
right. And I'm the opposite way. I get off at like 4:30.
Oh, 4:30 in the morning?
Yeah. So,
wow.
I'm that's why it's sometimes conflicting with me being able to join. But anyway, what's your topic today? What's the subject that you're speaking about?
We are talking about why women protect women.
That's simple, because they have been their consistent protection with one another from the onset.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like if you look at it on any scale, whether it be woman to woman, whether it be community to community, when you are going somewhere foreign where you feel threatened, or you feel you need some support, you go to the most common place of those who can support you. And women have felt that against men in this patriarchal society, that it's necessary to stick together. So I get it, although it's out of control and it's unbalanced at this point, in my opinion. But I understand why, because they don't, you know, and a lot of times the people who have hurt or harmed them were not women, they were men. So their safety and security that comes within men is limited at times. That's why that father figure being in the house is so prominent, and why people speak about it so much. Because if you don't recognize, understand, or have had that, it's very difficult for you to embrace it. You become misandrous by default.
Hmm. But what I never understood, if a woman does not like the other woman, she still protects her, and then after she's done protecting her, like she goes, "Man, I can't stand that fucking bitch," and they love getting involved in that drama.
Why don't you understand that? Let's take different cultures.
Okay, go ahead.
They might not like one another, but when it comes, like, for example, I'm from Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
In Brooklyn, we might not get along. But if we go outside of Brooklyn, and you know, and they say it's Brooklyn in the house, we are now unified, despite
That's true.
our differences. You know, I come to California and I see somebody who might have been my arch rival in Brooklyn, but I see them in California, and all of a sudden we're comrades. So I'm not surprised about that. That's just human nature.
That's true, because every time I bump into a New Yorker in PA, and he's like, "I'm from New York," I'm like, "Oh hell, yo, what's up, my man?" I'm
Exactly.
like, so let me get the next person here really fast. Alicia, what's going on tonight?
Hi. It's a
Hey,
crazy
hey.
night here.
All right, man.
Well, it's always
Crazy
crazy at
night.
your house.
Well, tomorrow's the first day of freshman year for Tyler. So we're a little more crazy today.
Oh. I see gunfire going off your house.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, I would say, because he's arguing over what he wants and what he has to bring, and he doesn't want to hear anybody else.
Well,
Okay.
you do have a 13-year-old boy.
14.
14, excuse me, 14.
Yeah.
You remember when we were 14, right, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely. Shoot, we still 14 sometimes.
Yeah, I wish I
Right.
didn't have the bills. I wish I had the same bills when I was 14, none that I have now.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Oh, right. Yes.
And that would
That would
be
definitely be.
you know,
I
doing this
know.
every day. You know, back then we were just playing video games, going, you know, chasing girls, and do whatever we wanted to. Now you got
Mhm.
responsibilities. Fuck that shit. All right, Lisa. The topic tonight is why women protect women.
Of course we do. We're sisters.
But you
And
guys protect women when you don't like each other sometimes too.
yeah, no, that's true. Women stand together in a lot of areas. And I just feel like it's a sisterhood for like certain, like not everybody, but for certain people, you know, like especially if you're friends with like a group of women, and like say like there's another mix of women, you know, like you pick the team that you want to like work with, focus on, get together, you know, get together with, and they're your like girls. Like I have a very good friend list of all my girls that are just there for me through everything.
Okay. So again, okay, you don't like this person, but you still got her back. I don't understand that. You don't call this shit out when you have to. Then you walk away and you start talking shit. I'm like, man, I can't stand that fucking bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I love the drama. I don't get it.
That's true. I know. You're right. You are right. We do that.
And that's been
Yep.
going through the generations. It's not like something new. So what does the sisterhood mean? That's so important. You guys cover each other's backs.
I guess it just means us um being part of like an understanding like what each person's going through. That means a lot to me. Like, like men, like they're not going to understand when we're talking about, oh, our monthly friend or anything like that, like, or relationships with guys. You need your sisterhood.
But we have similar issues. Like we talk about our women that being a pain in our fucking asses have a fucking time and nagging
Uh,
our ears off, right, Sean?
I agree. I agree with part of what you said, which is the cramps. But that when you are having issues in relationships and you go to your sisterhood, yeah, you feel comfortable with it, but it's usually at a default. You really
Yeah,
are not getting it's not to your advantage. And that's the only thing I say. I commend, let me put it on record. I admire and commend the sisterhood that women stand by each other. I wish unity was like that in a lot of other places,
Mhm.
especially with our brotherhood. Unfortunately, it's not. But at the same time, I don't commend when it's to your disadvantage.
true. No, I agree because like now I won't always choose my girlfriends, like if I'm if I'm seeing somebody and we're in a relationship, I don't go to my friends and run over every little thing. Like I like make sure that we are connected. I'm connected with that person. Like I don't ever run to them for everything because there's some things that you just work through together with a person. And sometimes I don't always involve my friends, my girls, because I do feel like that they would try to get in some way and they always give their opinion and we might not want their opinion. We might just be venting or something.
Mhm.
But they'll tell us like, "Oh, well, you should do this, you should do that." But I don't do that. I personally don't. If I'm
Now,
with somebody,
if you remember a few years back, you used to let your friends get in your head a lot. Remember that?
oh yes, right.
And
And
I
what's
used to call your
interesting
shit out.
about I actually have that came. It was an epiphany one time. I was speaking to a friend of mine, a woman friend of mine, who's now happens to be a therapist. But prior to her being a therapist, I was
Mhm.
speaking with her, and um, she said, "Well, Sean, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta not try to resolve something and give me an answer. Maybe I just want to talk it and vent." I said, "Well, you need to know this. If that's what you want to do it with your girlfriends.
Right.
That's not my position. You have girls who do that. I don't. As soon as you say something, it sounds like a complaint to me, and I'm looking for a resolution."
Right.
I always
No, I
say to them,
agree.
like, if you're gonna vent, let me know you're venting, so I
I,
don't think you're nagging me.
that you're right, and that was the second part of it. I was like, it's not that I can't do it, but prepare me. Say I just want to vent, and this way I can let you know whether I have the space and capacity for it and embrace it or not.
I agree 100%. Alicia, we
Yeah,
got
I do agree. Like there's times and places.
I think the issue I have with the sisterhood, let's call it, for tonight is when your guys wrong, you still don't want to call each other out on it, and that's like sometimes it kind of bugs me because guys call the shit on friends or
That's
not
true.
friends.
That's
So
true.
yeah, like I have called you over years multiple times on stuff, and it just easy. Like Sean, let me ask you a question right now. If I'm
Yes,
in the wrong, are you gonna call my shit out?
absolutely.
That and then we can be cool afterwards still. Like, that's how men are. We call this shit out and move on from it. Like, and the next time we're pound, give me a pound, bro. Let's get a beer and call it a day. But women, they will never do that. They're gonna be a fucking beat
No,
or
like, but then again, I do have friends that we will be straightforward with each other, and those friends I know are just looking out for each other.
And,
but how
and Matt,
often is
how,
that?
how long did it take to get to that space?
That's the other question.
I think there's true friends I have that we've always been in that space. I just think it's how it developed our friendship, our sisters. Because I do have friends that I do call sisters, and I do have friends that I just call, like, okay, well, we will hang out a couple times, but they aren't my true sisters. Like there's only a certain number of friends that I would say are my true sisters where I would tell anything and everything to, and they would give me suggestions and tell anything to me too. But that's not all my friends. There's
Do
certain
you
groups.
think when it comes to your sisterhood, is it something you guys share? Is it something that is unique or a struggle, or just you guys enjoy the drama?
No, the drama. No, we don't enjoy the drama.
Some women do. You know that.
I know, but no, I would say that each of my friendships, my real friends, they come from like a certain kind of connection. Like I already know, like I could just lift off my top 6, like, and I know that they're there for anything, and I just call them my sisters.
Hmm.
Like I grew up with them. They have special, like, six of them right off the bat. I know that they're right there then and there.
I have some few friends like that myself. And
Yeah.
like, I can call them and they
Yeah.
come gun blazing, literally too. They're some crazy son of bitches. We got on this, Sean.
Well, yeah, I agree. You know, I was just listening to a sermon on Sunday church service, A.R. Bernard, and he was speaking about the boundaries. And he said, Jesus, he gave the example, he said Jesus had an inner circle, then there was an outer circle, then there was a far circle. And he said his inner circle consisted of those who he knew were able to respond and be responsible for those intimate settings. He said there was only 3, and counting Andrew as 4 of the disciples that he allowed in that space.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't allow all 12 disciples to go to certain places with him. He allowed
I didn't know
3.
that.
Yeah. And then he said, and beyond that, the disciples was his next level, which is more like acquaintances. They work together, is the way he described it. Like you work together, you see them all the time. That doesn't mean that they're intimate with you, because you still don't invite them into intimate places. So that will kind of categorize our of work friendships and people we spend a lot of time with, that they see you with all the time, but they still are not in that inner circle, because to be in that inner circle takes a lot of responsibility and understanding, and that's what the point was. And so, yeah, there's certain people that you have to design it around what they can handle, because everybody's not prepared or able to handle the responsibility of some of that intimate, some of those intimate, transparent areas that you might share with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would take that, because I do think it's a place, and there's always a place you can hang out is appropriately for each person. Because you don't want to invite, your female friend in your bedroom, and that's taking that approach. But you can hang out outside, having next to a fire pit. That's cool, or in the living room, or around around there, or a TV place, or whatever. Depends what you guys are doing, of course. Also, a factor is if she's single, married, dating, divorce, or whatever the case is. And that's a big factor too.
Why do you factor those things in? Let me ask you.
I don't want never put a situation where somebody is feel uncomfortable. That's why I factor those. If like say, oh, come to my room, I need to grab something out of there. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with that. Why even bring it up? You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I understand that, but at the same time, if you have ill intent, then that is justified. But if your intent innocent, if you're saying come to my room, there probably is a reason for that if you trust one another. So that leans more into the distrust between people that exists pretty heavily. Especially when it's
100%. That's why I broke it down that way, because I don't know what everybody's intent is. Mine is different versus somebody else's. Mine are if I can tell you come in a room, and because I'm going out with her for dinner, I'm like, hey, this shirt looks good, or do I need to change the shirt? Like that. But before we move on, let's get her in here. Let's get the Woodstocker in here.
Okay.
That probably bring memories back for you, Sean, doesn't it? Mariana, what is going on?
Nothing much. Just trying to get 2 stacks of Bustelo so I could able to wake up tomorrow morning, because I need that coffee. So, because if I don't have that coffee, I cannot start my day.
Personally, I think coffee is like the greatest thing God gave us on this planet. It's one of the best things.
Yeah.
I know. I finally started drinking it again. My taste buds all changed with everything.
Oh, you
Finally, I
drinking
can
hot coffee
drink it.
again?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So I guess I'm the odd one in here because I don't drink coffee at all.
Really?
Never have. I mean, I have drank coffee, but I don't. I've
Mhm.
never
Oh, I
drank.
always needed it for wake ups.
Now,
Always.
you don't like coffee, Sean, or it's not your drink?
Both.
Mhm.
I don't specifically like coffee, and it's not my drink. You know, when I do drink something caffeinated or coffee like, whether it be a cappuccino, it got to be sweet,
Mhm.
and it's specific for waking up or giving me a little boost of energy.
If I tell you how I drink my coffee, you're like, oh, hell no.
I know.
Completely black. No
Mhm.
sugar, no milk, no nothing.
I know a lot of people drink it that way, and I
It took
guess
me years to get like that, to be honest with you, because when I first started drinking coffee, I was the one who put sugar, cream, milk, and I used to load it with all the sugar. And as I got older, your metabolism slows down a lot, and we both know that.
Mhm.
So I started cutting things out, and that's the first thing I cut out was sugar. I went from almond milk to regular milk, and then I just kicked it completely. I took a baby steps, of course, because how much sugar I was using. But Mariana, let's get you in here. Let's do open thoughts. Why do women
Okay.
protect women?
Um, they have to. Women have to protect women because they need to. Because if women don't protect women, I mean, just today I had to. Okay, I was more like a mother figure to my coworker. A coworker in her 20s. She was so overwhelmed. It was like 3, 4 individuals calling out what they needed on the other end. And I noticed she was so frustrated, like she was so upset, like she was about to be in tears. And then I had to like hug her, like give her a moment, okay, because at the point like it was overwhelming. She just started, and it's like day 6 for her. And for
Mhm.
her to see that, to experience something like that, she was she was like basically falling apart. Women has to help other women. It doesn't matter what. It could be a woman, let's say, getting picked on by another woman, because that usually happens. Get bullied. It could be in school, it could be at work, it could be some random stranger you don't know, but you have to step in. You have to step in because women have to look out for each other, but in the way you have to look out for in a positive way. Like, do not, of course you have to like look out for each other, but you have to. It's because we are there for a reason. To God gave us the tools that our mother taught us. So when we learn from our mother, you have to look out for another woman. If a woman is, let's say something happens, you have to step in. If I see somebody is struggling, you have to step in. I had to step in because I didn't like the fact that she was getting so overwhelmed. She was about to be in tears.
So I'm going to
And
correct you on one thing. Is like
yes,
I don't have a problem with you're saying except for one thing. You have to.
yeah,
You don't have to do shit. You want to.
okay, yes, yes,
That's the only thing I think is correction. I'm not saying you should change your mind
Yes.
at all. That's
Mm-hmm.
my
mhm,
opinion.
That's
okay,
Go ahead, Sean.
interesting to say that
Yeah.
because I agree with your sentiment, Peter, in reference to you don't have to. But my question then becomes, do you do that for your men?
You
oh,
mean the woman does it for the man or
Yeah.
man to man?
Yes, that same sentiment of what you had to, because
mm-hmm,
the commonality of what you both said, and I
mm-hmm,
agree with, is there's a sense of compassion because you have an empathetic heart. You can empathize with your fellow
mm-hmm,
sister, and
mm-hmm,
I can understand that. My point or question that I often push back on is, do
mm-hmm.
you do the same thing for your men?
Who wants to go first with that question?
Yes, I do.
Cool.
Explain.
Yeah,
I just feel like if there's someone special in my life, girl, like of course the girls, like my girls, my friends, but if there's a man that's special in my life, he definitely does come as a part of like the package, you know, like where we get together and treat each other like the same.
What's
Mhm.
interesting about what your answer is, and before you go to yours, is that you specifically said if he was someone special, but we were just talking about somebody who you didn't even know that you just met and you had that same energy. And that's why I said, do you do it for your men? I wasn't talking about specifically a man that you're attached to. I was talking
True.
about men
Right.
generally.
I know. That's interesting. Yeah. Because I did go right to if he's special in my life.
What about you, Mariana? We
So,
Yes, I mean, if we do the same, we had to do it in a
yeah.
brotherly way. Um, let's say if you see somebody, it could be, there was one time I did this, I would say, I never forget, 7, 8 years ago, there was a guy, didn't, he was stuck on the road and he didn't have any gas. And then, everybody passed him by. And then I noticed, nobody offer a ride. So I said, I noticed you were trying to get, what is going on? And he say, my car stopped. I need some, gas. So I pick him up. The gas was like a half a mile away. And it's, oh, I appreciate it. I say, no problem. It was really weird because I say, well, somehow God telling me to give him a ride. It's weird. It's
Hmm.
something like kind of pulled me in that situation because I didn't want the guy, spend the whole day just, like, hey, I need just, it just happens. So if somebody was like was stranded or struggling, of course you have to help out because
Well,
there's yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I'm sorry. What I was going to say is the interesting point that you're making is
Hmm.
that when it's a guy, several people do pass by. If that was a woman, she would
Yeah.
have gotten somebody to stop a lot sooner than you. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what is the reason why I asked. I'm glad and thank you for helping the brother out.
Hmm.
But that's rare. Is the point of view that some men happen to have? Is because it's rare that we get the same type of sentiment and or treatment when we are in need or when we are struggling. Sometimes it's our fault because we don't show it and we don't share it. But
Hmm.
sometimes it's very obvious and blatant, like you just said, a man sitting there with no gas. There's so many people. I'm sure you
Hmm.
saw many of them, and there was probably
Yeah.
some before you didn't see, passed them along. But had it been
Hmm.
a woman walking around with a gas or just outside of a car,
Hmm.
hey, you need,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Because I noticed the guy, he came out of work. He was a welder. And I said, why you're like, I thought he was a mechanic. But, I had to ask, what's your profession? So he told me he's a welder. And, every at the time, even before COVID, this is in 2018. This we were on struggling time. We're still struggling, regardless. And I say, okay, let me help this guy. So he asked me, "Do you want money?" I said, "No, I'm not doing it for money." I said, "I'm gonna give you a ride. Make sure you just get your gas, and I bring you back." They said, "Oh, I appreciate that." And then I kind of vent. I told him like I went for a job interview. He told me his life story, whatever. And I said I was hoping it was gonna go well. I say, I leave it, sometimes things happen. So, you had to have a help somebody out, whatever the case is. Because I know the guy's gonna spend the whole day, oh, nobody's gonna, but thank God I did it. So he told me, thank God you picked me up because everybody was past me and I was waiting for more than an hour. So
You know what I think
and
is funny in that situation, Mariana? I'll be honest with you.
yeah,
Is if that was to say you stranded and
yeah,
a guy stopped, you probably have multiple men stopping, not only one, and half of
yeah.
them were like, "Oh, yeah, I'll take you down for a gas, but I want something in return, like
Mm-hmm.
a day or whatever the case is."
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
not. I'm not saying all men are like that, but that's what the
Yeah,
woman would be thinking. Like, okay, he's helping me. What does he want in return? Am I
yeah.
wrong so far? I'm saying this.
I mean, you're right because sometimes, sometimes it could happen. Sometimes I go with my gut instinct because I decided, okay, I'm going for it, but something tells me to help him, like almost like I was guided. Like I had to, like, you know, because
there are a few situations like myself. I have helped
yeah,
other women, and they say, "Oh,
yeah,
what do you want in return?" Like nothing. Just take care of your
yeah,
business and do whatever. I'll drop you
yeah,
off or whatever the case. If you need a ride, I'll have a ride. You need me to change your tire, whatever. Remember
yeah.
one time I was walking to Bath and Body Works, coming out of Best
Hmm.
Buy, and this lady was struggling picking up the box. And I go myself in the car. I walked over. You need help? Yo, please. Here you go. And she's trying to give me money. Like, no, I don't want the money. I'm like, it took me 2
Yeah,
seconds to put a box in your car. I'm like, I don't want money. I'm not like a
yeah.
doorman. Come on now. But it's funny we bring this topic up because I had a video set up for this specific reason. And I mentioned it earlier when my open thoughts. And I think it's kind of hilarious what we're going to be talking about. I want to, let's watch this really fast and see what you guys think.
Women bring spiritual protection to men. There's a certain type of abundance and wealth that you can only get with being with a woman that you cannot get anywhere else or solo. Some women are doing community service because you do not even realize you're spiritually protecting a man by being with him. You may know he's not for you. Maybe he's a mess. Maybe he has an addictive personality, etc. You are staying with him and you are simultaneously spiritually protecting him, and you don't even realize you're doing it. You may notice that when a woman leaves a man, that's when all the karma hits him and when his life falls apart. He starts dating women that are also not healthy. The woman prior had to remove herself for karma to come in, and that's why men who abuse women or mistreat them, they receive the worst types of karma.
Wow.
All right, guys, what do you guys think on that?
Little kind of harsh in a way.
All right, go ahead. All right, you spoke first. Go for it.
Okay. Sometimes you have to pull yourself out of the bad equation. If the situation, let's say, if it's you guys are not compatible, pull yourself out of that situation, not go any further. But you
Mhm.
cannot say, oh, you know, the man's gonna get like a bad karma, because you can't. It's what you reap is what you sow. If you plant a bad seed, you're gonna get it's gonna produce a bad seed. So you cannot like assume that it's always the guy's fault. It's also could be a woman's fault. You can't be. It's either way. Like you can't assume that's it's oh, you decided to leave her and then a man's gonna suffer the consequences and all this other bad karma, which I don't
I
understand that.
think as a man, I know I'm going to be very racist by saying this. I'm sure I'm going to rephrase that more sexist saying this because as men, sometimes we have more to lose than you guys do at times.
Mhm.
Not always, at times, because we might be paying. We might have the house. You know what I mean? Whatever. Then
Mhm.
we have kids. I can't let kick you out because my kids are going to be on the street too. So I might lose more in the process of breaking up with you if I'm the one who's breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
Versus a woman is like, okay, I can go back to my parents. I don't care. I know a lot of women like, I don't care if he leaves me because I just can go somewhere else. And very easy at that. Before we move on, let's get this next guy in here. Of course, Baby Groot is running late today. First of all, none of that shit. None of that shit. You're late. You're late. And you knew the time changed.
I forgot the time change. That's one. Two, I have a nerve pain that I was trying to deal with. Three,
Oh.
I was trying to make sure that I don't exit out in pain. So when you do a lot of rotating around the shoulder neck pain area, whereby that nerve is messing my right elbow, and I don't want to punch the screen by accident if I trigger something. Hello, nothing little on me. I'm a big African grizzly bear. Remember that. Thank you.
So, Sean, I know how much of
Oh
our
my
show
gosh.
the network you've been watching because we created a network out of it. Our little joke is I call him Baby Groot because I met him in person actually in New York. He's So I looked at him like, "Oh, you're a big motherfucker." So that's where the joke came from.
Oh.
Okay, let's Sean, you go next. Alicia, did you watch the video in chance?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
Okay. So Sean, you go next. Alicia, go after, and then Big Baby over there is going to go over his open thoughts. And did you watch the video?
Really?
Not yet.
I didn't get to watch this video.
Okay, so I'm going to play the video again after they go, and you talk about the video and open thoughts at the same time. All right, go
No
ahead,
problem.
Okay. It sounded kind of personal. She was, you know, some of what she was saying has some validity, and other it was just leaning more towards of what she felt. And you know, it is what it is. If I was having a conversation with her, I would have challenged her on a few of the things. That karma thing goes both ways. To your point that you was making a second ago,
Hmm.
men, in my opinion, love harder than women,
I
love
agree.
more significant than women, and so therefore we do have a lot more to lose. Now, women tend to disagree with that because they, you know, have their heart involved and things of that nature. But despite our heart, despite our hurt feelings, despite our, uh, uh, you know, discrepancies with what you have done with us, we still love.
Hmm.
Only thing that women love unconditionally outside of themselves and possibly their children. And I say possibly because it's not all women who do love their children unconditionally. But
Hmm.
I always love me like you love your child, not because I want to be have a motherly figure or I want to be baby, because that's who you love the most. That's who you have unconditional love for, and I deserve the same because I'm going to treat you that way.
Lately, I've been challenged that a little bit. I'll tell you why. I'm not saying you should not love your kids unconditionally. You should, but you should not always put your kids first. You should also put your man, your husband, up front, because when they go to college and leave, they're not going to be around. Your husband's going to be around, so you have to make sure you give him as much attention as you give your kids too.
You're actually lending to the point that I just made. That's
Exactly.
why,
That's why I want to bring that up.
yeah, you need to do that. But women don't understand that. They'll love their children like because I feel like that's who they, and ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's who they
Okay.
can control. That's
Yeah.
who
Mm.
they who relies on them, and they like that feeling of being relied on.
Hmm.
Whereas
Yeah.
we rely on them because we want to, not because we have to.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Before we move on to Alicia, do you girls want to challenge that any shape, way, or form before we move on?
No.
Yeah, I will, especially since I
Go ahead.
have Tyler. Um, so I really wouldn't say, I mean, my son is my world, I will say that.
Hmm.
Um, but I still feel like I do know exactly what people were talking about and saying, like Pete was saying, that you gotta put your man first, because I see that all the time. Yes, because you're not gonna be with your son forever. So I agree with him on that, because you do, because in the end, when they go off to their own land, to their own whatever they're gonna bring their dreams to, you know, they're moving out, they're that, then who do you have left if you don't give attention to the other person that's in your life? So I do agree that, I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't love my son unconditionally, and I do,
Nobody's saying that.
but what?
Nobody's saying that. I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
right.
like me and Sean are saying, you should also love your
Yes.
man as equally, maybe a little more too, because he's the one who's gonna have your back when you're sick, when you're not
Yes.
there. That's what I was saying. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm on that side of it. Yeah, no, I agree. You know, my son is my world, but also so is whoever may come into my life, you know. I will give them that much more if they are, you know, someone special in my life. Like I will treat them like that, like not just, oh, my son, my son, my son. I won't just I won't just say, oh no, he does this, I get to control this from him, I do that. No, I agree that it has to go hand in hand with somebody.
Yeah. All right, David. I'm gonna play the video and go in your open thoughts and talk about the video at the same time. Just give me 1 second. Wrong one.
Women bring spiritual protection to men. There's a certain type of abundance and wealth that you can only get with being with a woman that you cannot get anywhere else or solo. Some women are doing community service because you do not even realize you're spiritually protecting a man by being with him. You may know he's not for you. Maybe he's a mess. Maybe he has an addictive personality, etc. You are staying with him and you are simultaneously spiritually protecting him, and you don't even realize you're doing it. You may notice that when a woman leaves a man, that's when all the karma hits him and when his life falls apart. he starts dating women that are also not healthy. The woman prior had to remove herself for karma to come in, and that's why men who abuse women or mistreat them, they receive the worst types of karma.
All right, David, the floor is yours.
Ooh, okay. Yes and no on that part. Let me explain why I say yes and no. Because the fact that that was the subject of that video did bring in an element I don't think a lot of women want to hear or really want to put their finger on. So when you talk about spiritual protection, the question you need to ask, what kind of moral compass does that person really have? Now, it's safe to say we in a very weird society whereby so-called religion is all over the place. You got too many denominations of Christianity out there already after this. And anyone who understands the black church, we know that we have too many fake sisters in the congregation as of lately today. Now, for someone who came from a very strong upbringing whereby they don't play around with their spiritual walk, I can say yes.
Mm-hmm.
That type of caliber, keyword that you remember what I say, caliber of woman that protect a man on a spiritual level. I think they apply for those in the Islamic faith as well. Now, it's safe to say there's not a lot of women that have that fundamental foundation to say they're that kind of person. Because we've seen for the past couple of years, everybody like to do this. They claim to be that type of person, but their actions don't speak it. I have always saying, let your action be aligned with your words.
Mm-hmm.
And what that woman saying in that video is very, very true because, for one, there's a structure, there's a hierarchy. And I know to all the feminists out there, when I like to hear it, and those that be on that ugly ass gravy train on multiple platforms, it is God, nothing with it. God, men, women, and children. There's a hierarchy that must be followed. If you're following that hierarchy down to the T, then what that woman said apply you all to protect her because as the man the head of the house, the woman is like the manager. The one that make sure the household is in order. But also she have that spiritual insight of watching out for her husband in case of anything that might pop up. If you're that woman that's supposed to protect your husband, spiritually speaking, that means you're his wise counsel. Meaning you know person of wisdom because you look at the medieval day, you have the kings who are very powerful, who rule kingdom, but they have a queen who is not only subtle, feminine, but have a level of insight understanding to give her husband, who's the king, some wise insight like, honey, let's look at it. I think if you approach it this way, this might work. It's my suggestion, but I want you to think it out. See through what I'm saying, then add it to your idea, then see what works best for you. That would be the kind of role that women want to play. Now, let's bring back to today's society. How many don't fit in that criteria? Without the sisterhood with the fork and the shovels or the machete that's going to cut you down and call you a pick me. Hmm? Then I'm breaking it down right now because if I want to throw a scripture, that'll be a feature in chapter 5, verse 22 to 33, First Peter chapter 3, verse 1 to 7, Second Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3, I believe. Okay, like I tell you to be a Bible nerd. These are the things that I don't think a lot of people want to get in that. That's why I stay away from my conversations after a while because I've been on certain panel and I've been itching to give some of the women the ultimate haymaker they'll never come back from. That decided let me just step away from that because sometimes it get real annoying. But that right there, that video, it doesn't apply to a lot of it applies to a very, 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 very small group of women that fall in that category. and that is the harsh reality.
And that's true. It is a harsh reality, and it's a fine. I was saying earlier before you guys got on is like the part of it that also gets on my last fucking nerves sometimes when women say I don't need a man, but sometimes you do need a man, and they go, oh, when I tell them, okay, can you change a tire? I want to. Usually that's a super example, like that's a career, it doesn't count. I'm like, yeah, it does. It fucking does. I'll give Alicia's best example. She forgets always to put gas in her car. And
Oh my god, I'm terrible.
yeah. I don't laugh when you get stranded. Mike, you mute. Yeah. David.
Sorry, you don't need a gasoline car. You need a solar car. Sorry about that. So in
Right.
case she forget her gas, she get powered by solar energy, so she won't get like lost on the highway or lost in the middle of the street. I'm just saying.
Sport resurrection. What are you talking about, dude?
If she could forget to put gasoline in her car, then get an electrical car
I
or solar energy
I
car.
always wait till the last minute, and then I'm on E, and then I have to run and get it.
Dude, I'll put it this way. It was maybe what 6-7 months ago. Last time we hanged out, right? Something like that,
Yeah.
right, Alicia? So last time
Yes.
we were gonna. I remember she asked me, oh, can you? Oh, I was helping her put a Christmas light. That's what it was.
Yes.
She goes, all right, I need more lights. I go, okay. I'm like, where's the store? I'll put them up for you. I'm here anyway. Like, whatever. She goes, all right. He's around the corner. I'm like, all right, let's get it. My car's already in the road because I park on the street. She goes, okay, I got it. He goes, no, we need to use my car. Like, why? He goes, you hate driving. She goes, yeah, I'm on E. I need to put gas. I'm like, oh, Christ almighty.
Mm-hmm.
And the light was on too, by the way.
It's always, I know. I'm terrible with my car.
And
I am
you need
terrible.
you need an EV car, not a gasoline car. No offense.
So we're gonna plug it in, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh God.
Yeah, I know. I gotta remember to plug it in.
No, what? I can't help her. I cannot
Don't
help her.
ask
on
me
that.
for any. Don't ask me about car stuff. I'll be like, how do I put my air in?
I would say horse and carriage. That would make it even worse.
She's gonna starve the goddamn horse, probably.
See? You see what I'm saying?
Yep, that's me. Or what's that sound? It's making me this weird clinking sound. What is it?
What could it sound?
No, I'm just saying, like in general, like I'll be like, oh, it's making some weird clinking sound, and I'll just be like trying to explain it. Like
yeah,
for any,
doesn't help a mechanic anytime, shape, way, or form. When I was a mechanic, I love when women come in and goes, here's a funny one, actually. The most funny one I have, actually. I get it when I was a mechanic, and I get a work order system, airbag light on. So first thing we always do is road test the car, see if they would simulate the problem. Couldn't figure nothing out. So then, she comes back in a week. She goes to me, I'm still having a check airbag light. All right. You know what? How about you drive and I sit next to you and see, going the same route when it happens. To the T. No, nothing came on. Third week comes in. See the same thing. You know what? I'm gonna sit in the back this time on purpose. But I want you to drive and do exactly what you do when it comes on. I go to school usually for that. Okay. She put her books on the seat. There were so many books. Every time she jumped, went over a bump, the books used to jump and the airbag light used to come on for that reason. I looked at her like, you gotta be fucking kidding me,
Oh my god.
The second best one I have is I get a work order in saying, speak to my service manager. Like, what the fuck? I go speak to the service, like, don't start the car or anything. He goes, you're gonna have to push the car in. Like, why? She put diesel in it by accident.
Okay, I would never do that.
I go, why would she put diesel in? I want to know this. Like, and I see this on TikToks and shorts all the time.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, it's Christmas. She thought green stand for Christmas, and she used that one. I'm like,
wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
For some reason, I can see you doing that. Actually,
I believe it. I will not deny it. I'm serious. I'm that bad. I will never go into a mechanic by myself because they will rip me off like
that's not
none other
anymore. It used to be like that back in the day. Now, if you find a good mechanic, they don't rip you off. Actually,
even if they think you don't know what you're talking about.
A good mechanic will educate you in the process.
Okay, and a not good one will just be like, yeah, here you go. You need tires. You need this. You need that. And it's not true.
That's true. That's why you get a second opinion too.
Yeah.
Like that's an option. But I always tell people, women mostly, if you find a good mechanic, he's not going to rip you off. He's going to educate you and tell you this is
Right.
what's wrong with it. This is why it went wrong, and this is how you prevent it next time. But you need to get it fixed now. Then you don't agree? All right, I'm listening.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you why I say no. So let's get about this particular part when you have a mechanic that you know. Most mechanics are male, right? If you're a woman of
About
a,
98% of it is only like a 2% woman.
I know, but here it is. If you know a particular mechanic and he's your friend, and you are a 5 to a 7 on the scale, there's a high chance that mechanic have interest in you, and you end up putting that person in their friend zone. It get to a point that mechanic gets fed up being a friend zone and decides, you know what, I'm done being your friend. So I'm not sure that'll be the most logical thing to do right now in today's society. When most mechanics do have interest in their female friend in 8 times out of 10. Am I wrong, Miss Potter?
I think you're pretty right.
Because you're a mechanic, so you know damn well. So you can't act like we don't defend to a couple of good-looking women there, and you're the friend with them, and
I
they're going
kept
to
it
do.
professional. When I was a mechanic, even as a chef now,
Okay,
I kept it
okay.
as very, very professional as possible. I'm not gonna sit there and tell them like, "Hey, sweetheart, if you take, let me take you out for dinner. I can drop the bill a couple $100." Like, I was never that kind of person, and like, I will break it down. I was lucky enough to work in shops that we didn't have that. The one or two shops I had that, and like, I didn't last long. Like, great example. Remember your whole Bluetooth problem, Alicia?
Yes.
Or your car? Who fixed it?
You did?
Yeah. And I showed you how to fix it next time it happens again,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great example because I believe in education versus taking your money.
Right.
Very simple.
Yeah.
We got
Unlike the other.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alicia. Finish.
No, I was just gonna say, unlike others who would just be like, "Here you go. This is what you do." Like they pull out the oil stick or whatever, and then they just be like, here it is," and they let you stare at it. I'm like, okay.
And I did
So
the same thing at the IT guy who have been to a lot of people's home and fixed their computers. What I try to do is sit them down and not educate them, but lecture them and have them take notes. So in case of next time, if this were to happen, they know what to do before I get there, or take note of it.
Right.
Because just like
That's
you
good,
doing with
David.
mechanic or
Yeah.
doing people, some people make the same mistake whereby they get scammed.
Mm-hmm.
So I try my best to educate any customer I work with, regardless. Because one, hear the real true story. I don't want to be in your house too many times fixing the same thing over and over. It get annoying. I was not wondering, are you clumsy or are you just very destructive? So if I was a
Right.
mechanic and I'm fixing the same problem several times over, I'm gonna look at you like, I talked to your car want to divorce you behind because the car don't trust you.
sometimes it's not their fault because like some cars, like say S10s and the Santa Fe Hyundai's, like 04s, they are known for ball joint problems. For
I know,
example,
I'm aware of that. I mean, you know that a lot of car makers in, intentionally sell broken down cars on purpose or
it
cars
was a
not
broken
really.
down part. It just the wear and tear, the way they balanced the car wasn't balanced correctly, so all the weight was on the ball joint, so it wears down a
It,
lot faster.
it's structural design issue. Let me tell you something. I took a course back in high school out here. When you design cars, you understand the structural issue. And sometimes they know what the problem is, they refuse to fix it unless they get busted for it. And they get the recalls coming in. Because when it comes to design of different cars, the automaker know what they're doing. They do know. Issue is, it cost them too much to repair the car before they put it out. So they rather just sell it, make their money. If you caught onto it, okay, they have to pay the fine. If you don't caught onto it, whew, we dodged the bullet. That's the name of the game. It's sad,
Mm-hmm.
but that's how they be doing business for the past couple of decades. It's shady, but when will I say? Sorry, I'm snitching.
It is shady. Unfortunately, it is a very shady business, mechanics, and even IT now too. David, you know that.
I know.
So, let's play the next video really fast. We have one more on this topic. with this one's a little different. Men must protect women. Before I play the video, I want to see. Yes, David, don't roll your fucking eyes at me. So I want to see your guys' opinions on that. Go ahead, David. You go first.
Men protect women.
Mm-hmm.
Really, in 2025 now. I know that
It
sounds
happens
good.
more often than you think, David. You know that.
I know. Sadly, I don't think people like my view. If she's not the girl you plan to marry, if she's not your wife, if she's not your mother, nor your sister, keep to yourself. Plain simple. Do not risk your life for anybody you don't know at all.
Mm-hmm.
That era that used to be known back in the 80s and the 90s is long gone. It's too damn risky to be a gentleman in an era of hyenas and vultures. You don't want to risk your life when you have so much going for you for somebody who looking to see who she can bring down the path of death. I learned it from the book of Proverbs. So, on that note, take heed to my warning. Public service announcement. Thank you.
Mariana.
Um, for men to protect women. To be honest with you, I heard a couple stories for men getting stepped in and they end up getting killed. Um, I hate to say it, it's kind of risky. If it's God forbid, if it's let's say if it's your girlfriend, wife, sister, friend, that's a different situation. But if it's something, God forbid, something like broad daylight and this guy held a gun and a guy has to step in, then he end up losing his life. It's not like it used to be. And of course I agree with David because the culture changed a lot. It's not like, oh, we could step in. It's not like you. If it's, let's say, if it's a group of men, that's different. But if it's one man, you can't. You can't. I'm sorry. Because you're being outnumbered. You feel like, you don't know what this other individual's capable. So um it's kind of scary and the world is a scary place, I would say. Very scary. And I don't think, and I'm sorry to say, and I can't, it's not for everyone to do that because I don't think it's not worth losing, it's not worth losing your life. So,
Alicia.
So wait, are we saying like men protecting women that don't know each other
In general.
or like in
In general.
general?
Yeah, in general.
So in general, yeah, I would say there has to be a connection for anyone to accept a man protecting their woman. Like you don't just go and say, oh, she just needs help. I'm going to help her. There has to be a connection. Like, why are you protecting her? Who is she to you? Like, there's that personal connection in order that I think like men, yeah, protect your woman, but make sure that there's a connection between you and that person before you
Mm-hmm.
go and just protect them.
About you, Sean.
Well, what's interesting, it lends to the point that I was making earlier that men love harder than women because regardless of their connection or relation to you, it's a risk, and we will take that risk. Now, to everybody's point, who do we take that risk for? Yeah, you probably shouldn't in this day and age take the risk for a stranger, but at the same time, it lends to the point of that original question of the sisterhood, is because women don't understand why men don't stand up as much as they used to, but don't take into account that some of those reasons are caused by their behaviors. And so if it's like Dave described, if you're a hyena, which is unfortunately a growing sensation, then that behavior is why you're not protected. They say that the Lord can only can give you correction and protection if you follow His direction. That goes the same way here in life. A man can only give you protection or direction. Protection or correction if you follow his direction. But unfortunately, that's not something that's a popular uh, stand when it comes between women and men, especially if it's a man you don't know.
I agree 100%. Because the thing issue also with that is, as much as we want to be the man, like, oh, you're walking down the street and this woman's getting beat the shit out of. If we get involved, then she might beat the shit out of you for some reason. But I think what I find very interesting with this scenario is, if a man is getting abused by a woman, nobody comes to his defense. No, not even one person. Yeah. But if a woman is getting abused by a man, everybody's flocking toward her, stop, and like, whoa, chill. Why is that okay? Go ahead, David.
Good, interesting question to ask. As of lately, since 2023, 2024, they now realize it is a known issue. There are men who refuse to put their hand on a woman, knowing that the type of laws that we have in the United States from state to state are never on the men's side of things. Correct. There have been multiple videos have been shown on the web, especially on YouTube, whereby men pay the price for not defending themselves in those type of situations when women take advantage of. This is where the problem comes to play. Let's be real. A woman can't hit a man and barely go to jail. Depending on which state where the Lord had that woman can walk away scot-free. But as of lately, they're changing the law as fast as they can because they realize women like to abuse the system a lot. Which is very true. I saw a couple of police videos whereby I didn't get to see the one that this man was chained down to a bathtub. And he looked like a strong guy. I was like, what will have you get chained up and get tied to the bathtub? For what unknown? I'm trying to rationalize the logic of that happening, but at the same time, I'm not in that environment. But there are a lot of things that happen in people's home without you never least suspect. If you watch a lot of cop videos, you come across, you start to ask yourself the same question: how long this been going on? How can no one speak about this much? But shout out to all the podcasts like the Fatties, I hate to say it, Anton Daniel, DJ Hemp, and a few other out there. They speak on these type of topic because one, they're being portrayed that men are predators. The men are predators and women are the ultimate vultures. They pretend to be victims when they're actually more dangerous than men. They like to look for excuse because we have seen videos, shout out to the lead attorney, whereby she will call her brothers to get his friend to come jump a guy because he don't want to deal with her no more, X, Y, and Z, and it lead to a case whereby he had to fight for life and defend himself in court.
Mm-hmm.
These things are happening in a very alarming rate because women think they can abuse the system for their own advantage.
And to be honest with you guys, and you guys, if you remember, most of you guys know me very personally, like even Sean. And I spoke it on public. I'm actually doing a show Friday with King on this. So I was one of the person who got abused. Mariana knows who I'm talking about already. You met her, remember?
Yeah.
And let me ask you a question before I even bring to the story. When you first met her, did you even respect her, abusing me?
To be honest, that was unexpected till I find out. I say, a little thing like that, and I'm like thinking, but she has a mouth. And then beyond that, I noticed it really kind of, I don't know what to say to that. You cannot
So
judge
it
a
was
book by
only
its
the
cover.
mouth. Yep, it was only the mouth. Fine, we all have mouths on it. Let's be straight up here, guys. All right, we all can. But her hands was the issue. It's not only that, like it was physical and verbally abused. The day that my neighbors called the cops on her because she threw a garden scissor at me. Yes, I said garden scissor. She hit
A
me.
garden scissor?
Yeah,
Yes, garden scissor. I had
that's
a big ass
crazy.
black and blue down my back.
And this is what I've been trying to talk about on past few years when I've been on panels. I know Sean have seen me on panel with him when I bring up society norm. And I've been told this is not Africa. I get it, it's not Africa, but in Africa, stuff like that don't go down without repercussion.
Absolutely.
Common sense. Don't hit somebody you don't want to be hit. When
Yeah.
you have women doing these type of things, here's the problem. The cop is not going to intervene. It is you attacking a man. They'll let you know you are barking up the wrong tree. Whatever happened, it's on you. But lately, they have law for domestic violence, which I fully understand. But for women to abuse the system outside the United States or UK, it's not it's not allowed to pass. Because they know what women can do. That's why I point out the obvious. When you have a system in place where you put men at a disadvantage, what do you expect to happen? Now we have a new generation of men who are not raised like us, who have a moral compass or a moral foundation. If you try to do such a thing, God forbid, two of these things, it's like two sides of the coin. They could be a product of a single household, a single parent household, more likely mom. Two things can happen. Either that guy have hatred towards mom, and when he see you do such a thing, he say, "I can't beat my mom. I might well beat you." Or the guy with the son husband. You have two sides of the equation. What you need to ask yourself is he a mama boy or he's a mama beater?
So I'll use this example. When this happened to me, when the cops showed up, the first thing they said to me is, "Can I see your hands?" Like, why? Can I see your hands? I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'm not gonna hide." All right, good. You didn't hit her. I'm like, what? The first thing they thought the man wasn't wrong. And when they saw the black and blues, and guess what she got punished with? $150 ticket. That's it.
Wow.
And this is New Jersey, right?
PA.
EA.
PA, Commonwealth. Remember what I said, based on state law.
Yeah.
That means for most of the Commonwealth states, before they change the laws, it will take a while. That means you need to get a bunch of politicians who want to support that change of law in that particular state or particular county because there's an uptake, meaning if they want to do a statistic and find out a lot of women have been abusing the system and the rate is high, then they have a legal and just reason to have that law changed so it can hold women more accountable. Something that do not always because they had enough because the police station on multiple reasons have been reported and they said they're getting tired of it. There's no law that allow them to hold them responsible. This has been a known issue. We have done many conversations concerning the sisterhood. I can't call it a sisterhood. I had to call it the hyenahood. No one. If you make merch, I get royalty, 2%. But I'm being honest because watching the news, hear what's going on. You live in a neighborhood like my neighborhood, and you see that shenanigans as you walk by a couple of blocks, and you see the thing that's going on a regular basis. You got to ask yourself this question: are we in end time because society is deteriorating to something that doesn't make no sense, or there's the change of the guard whereby there's no more morality anymore? Yeah, women say they don't need a man. If you don't need a man, then let other men leave the country and leave the infrastructure for you to maintain and take care of. So when anything fall apart, don't call us. You figured it out. Climb off the roof when you're the 60-foot floor or 80th floor, then get on the raft and talk your way down, and you figure that one out. Because how many women climb on high-rise building and clean the windows on the high-rise building?
I know a few actually.
I know, but in multi
It's like a
zero point,
one or
it's
2%.
0.199. Good. First and foremost, it's a very risky job. It's mostly be taken over by men. All the high risk job is mostly men that's doing it.
Mhm.
Men risk their life to take out the fire. Yeah, they have women firefighter, but mostly men are doing it. Because
Mhm.
I have a friend of mine who was a firefighter. Not much. It weigh on you when you had to do the amount of equipment you had to carry. That's 90 pounds worth of equipment.
Jeez.
90 pounds. And not reducing it. I'm sorry, they're not like the military where they make some pre adjustment just to make sure you got that. No, you wearing the same thing everybody wearing 90 pounds. On top of that heavy coat, and you gotta go into a burning building, trying to save somebody like you,
Mm.
you serious?
Mm-hmm. Sean, we got on this, my man.
Well, what's interesting is that we just mentioned the woman's standpoint, and we have a tendency to mention the woman's standpoint, and I agree with everything that's been said. Uh, but we also have to challenge why societal it's like that. And part of the reason why it's like that is because there are no consequences that are substantial for the behaviors. And I think legislatively and some of the suggestions that you said are some ways to address it. Because, for example, women specifically, are taking advantage of systems, and they do it very clearly. And when it comes down, you know, they put the um, puppy dog eyes and the
Mm-hmm.
turtle tears, and and oh, I didn't know, when in fact it's very deliberate and very calculated. So if that behavior continues without consequence, we'll have the scenarios we're having. A good example of where eye opener or came was Shakari Richardson just recently when she got arrested for putting hands on her boyfriend, and she tried every way, distract, not taking accountability. We're going to use the word accountability. What comes with accountability are consequences, and unfortunately, there aren't too many consequences. So, while many people were concerned that she got arrested, I was kind of happy that it happened, because it was a eye opener for her, because she thought that she can talk her way, star her way, as far as her stardom, use that again, out of it. And her getting arrested and having to spend that time, I'm hoping for her pride, for her maturity, for her sanity, that it helped her have a humbling moment and experience, that she will understand the severity of her behavior, so that she can and that can continue. Go ahead, David. I see you.
Sean, you and I have been on multiple panels when we mentioned the A word, accountability. How many times that you and I get shut down, get argued at, or be called out? Oh, we don't hold men. Oh, he will come back. They'll say we don't hold men accountable enough. We don't do this against men enough. Me and Sean have been on multiple panels. We mentioned the A word. Oh no. Oh. What about the man? What about the man this? What about the man that? And we
What happens
stand
when people
on.
bring the airway, like you call it, or accountability the correct way, is guess what? People lose their shit because they don't like being called out on their shits.
I just saw a clip from Fatty when OG of Audio OG, talking to the Mayor, lost it. And I'm like, oh, old school OG Tommy. He have been giving the warning for the longest, the A word, and everybody say he's a misogynist. But when you hear the thing that we make excuse about for ages, and how many talk show do we had in mainstream that bash men
Oh my
since
God.
since the 80s? Hmm?
Hmm.
When do you ever have a talk show where men bash women? Never. Because we won't stay on mainstream. Maybe late night when everybody's dead sleep. If it's
Mhm.
not Oprah, it's Ricky Lake. If it's not
Mhm.
Ricky Lake, it's Jenny Jones. If it's
Mhm.
not Jenny Jones, the Queen Latifah show. If it's not the Queen Latifah show, it's The View. If it's not The
Mhm.
View, it's The Real. If it's not The Real, what a bullshit talk show out there since the 80s and the 90s have been bashing men saying men not good enough. We need to step up. We hear the same thing
Mm-hmm.
over and over and
Oprah's
over
the
and
worst one, I
over.
think, because they say she's a very sexist person.
Who?
Oprah.
Oprah was the worst of them all. She was the queen.
Mhm.
She was the queen.
Yes.
But here's the thing. A lot of women want to act like that never happened or never existed. And they were
Oh
on
yeah, of
main
course.
airway. Every household was able to see it.
Mhm.
So when we bring it up, when we bring the receipt and we get the pushback, Sean was there. There's many times I want to lose it. The one old fogey good for nothing piece of a rag from Chicago for trying to ask me why I'm here. And I want to give her the African ass whooping with words. Call her the undesirable element, which she could never read the dictionary and find out what that means. So it's what it is. She just proved my point of the level of ignorance. This is why we say what I say. When we want to build our brotherhood, one want to come in and invade in and say, "Oh, did not how you put the feel." And this the number one phrase. Sean know this. We want to tell us how a man's supposed to be. Last I checked, I'm from the motherland. I'm from Africa. The only people that teach me how to be a man are actually men, not women. Real talk. Whenever women want to tell me how to be a
All right.
man, I'm wondering who are you talking to. Okay.
All right. I have one more video for us
Go ahead.
tonight.
Things in love, whether it's romantic love or love for a child, especially a little girl, would be protecting them. I don't want a woman that I can't save from a castle and a dragon, because a man wants to be a hero. He wants to go through that pain and sacrifice for that woman. And if he comes home to a woman that cannot acknowledge that, or that thinks that she can do it as good or better, then what the fuck is he in the house for? Men protecting women in that way is probably one of the most beautiful things there is about love. I think one of the most fulfilling things.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That era was gone in the early 2000s, late 90s.
Okay.
When he bring that today time,
Like,
oh men want to do this. Last I checked, women have been saying what a man can do, the woman can do better. You ever heard that phrase? How long that phrase been going on in today's societies? Hmm?
The
What a
90s,
man
I
can
think.
do, what a man can do, a woman can do better. How long that phrase have been going on in the airway?
There
Oh yeah,
was there
that's
was a
too
been.
long.
commercial. Yeah, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing that man saying that, I'm like, he came out for a time machine.
You're an asshole.
Oh, that's level one asshole. I haven't got to level 10 yet, asshole. But that's the point. This is the real me, the nerd style who wants to really rip a new one to every dumb talking point. Like, are you are you for real? We had the Papa Bro movement going on for the past 5 or 10 years, and you got this one speaking this nonsense. Like, what side of the country you came out from? You serious? All the wedding stores in the United States shut it down because you know what? No one want to get married. To who? There's no,
And it's a lot of that now. They don't
it's
want to
not
get
that.
married.
There's no sisterhood. There's hyenahood. Let's change that title. They want to burn down the sisterhood and bring it a hyenahood with no moral compass. They always right and we always wrong. Is that not the motto? Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, no. The motto is "Happy wife, happy life." That's the motto.
Bullshit. I don't
No,
believe in that.
I'm
Mhm.
saying I agree, but that's the the the
Should
saying that.
be,
Happy spouse, happy house.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sean,
I agree
Sean,
with that. What I'm
I
saying is that's the statement. That's the saying that is advocating this type of behavior, and
Sean,
I don't
I had a
agree.
I had a deacon who came to me with that nonsense and tell me that nonsense. I asked him, where you see that in the scripture? I said, when you can show it to me, I will believe it. Until then, show me. He kept quiet.
Dave, we're not disputing it. I'm not saying that it's a good thing. I'm just saying that's the saying that highlights that type of behavior and that mentality. And I don't agree with the saying like you just described. I do like the happy spouse, happy house. I agree with that.
Here's
But
the thing.
go ahead.
I've been the weirdo in this society for more than 30 years because I don't follow society norm. I've been told I need to get my brain checked. And now it's time to find out it's not me that need to get my brain checked. The country to get its brain checked. Because I've been calling out from very jump. Let's not forget a few years back on BMU Network, I got pulled out for calling Kim Kardashian zero point 0.5. And fast forward, I've been proven correct. I didn't get no apology since then. Who want to mess with a effed up version of Weird Science? We know that movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
I'm,
remember.
it's like, how long will you continue this BS? Happy? I
See,
can't
at the end
even
of the day,
think.
if you're not happy yourself as a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. Happy spouse, happy man, happy wife, whatever saying you want to use. If you're not happy in your household, you're going to be miserable. If you guys don't agree on, okay, let's paint the wall red versus black or orange or whatever color you guys decide, it doesn't matter. If you're not happy with that, or you guys are buying a new vehicle for the family, not for you or for her, you're going to share a vehicle. She wants a Honda versus a Ford. Like, you guys have, I know these are stupid examples, but these examples do make a difference. You have to. The hell is in your mouth, David?
You understand the symbol?
Oh, you want a sound effect? I got you. Could have asked for it.
Because I hear the story of all the people who to be car dealership when they say they walk in, they work in there, and a woman and a couple come in there and see the man facial expression, and she doing all the talking, and he's quiet. If I were the car dealer in that scenario, I would have given a symbol sign. Let me know if we need help. Do this, or let me know if we can. Like, what the hell? Like, whatever state you are in, along the law to support them, they can abuse it.
True. So, my issue with that right now, David, Mariana, Alicia, Sean,
Mhm.
it's a stupid saying with that. We need to move forward from that. If you guys both
Mhm.
are not equally happy in your household, in your marriage, your relationship, your friendship, whatever it is, it's never going to work out.
Mhm.
Sean, you're the wise man from our group usually. What do you think?
Uh, I agree. If you don't see the same vision, you can't get to get to that vision. And whose vision it is not a concern. It's about, that could be arguable rather, but the
Mm-hmm.
point is you gotta be able to look at the same goal and be able to understand that you're pursuing the same goal, the same vision. And a lot of times there's a disconnect there, so we don't
I'll be
ever.
honest, Sean. You haven't been on for a while, but I miss your ass, Peacock.
Disconnect.
Yeah,
No, it's a reason why we call him Peacock.
we won't get into that story today, but there's
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now I'm curious.
Ask Sean. If you Sean wants to share, that's his story. If he wants to share it, I'm okay with it. That's up to him.
well, when I had a experience with an ex of mine, intimate experience, and it was a memorable moment. She shed tears, but we woke up and literally there was a peacock outside the.
Oh my God.
I met these.
That's
What in the
why.
world?
That's why I call him Peacock from now on. For what? 2 years I'll call you Peacock.
Right. And I'm
All
in a
right.
rural area. It's not like I'm in a place where peacock should be. I've never seen a peacock before, and I haven't ever since. And so it was just a moment that I was able to embrace and share that was uncanny. So, when I share that moment, it was deep. It had a deeper meaning. I felt like it was a sign. I felt a lot of things about it. But the point is that uh, the only way I could describe it or summarize it, because the moment between us was magical. It was like one of the most magical moments we had ever had. And we spoke about magical moments, I think, when I brought up the story. And I kind of let everybody know what happened in that moment, and hence my nickname Peacock has been.
Sean Bolden, the Brotherhood agency to let you know you have an interview to see if you'll keep your bro card or not with that story.
All right, guys. Let's
Well,
start getting our final thoughts. Let's do it as we came in. Let me get you guys in order. Yeah. Okay. So Sean, you go first. Alicia second. Ariana third, and Baby Groot last.
okay.
Go ahead, Sean.
My final thought is let's just let there be more love. I advocate for love. I advocate for loving one another, which starts with loving yourself. And how we do is through truth and honesty, transparency, which is a difficult thing for us to do without getting offended. So let there be love. Let's not take it so personally when we get offended. Let's be honest about it so that we can get a resolution to it. And it will help not only your immediate circle, your inner circle, as we were speaking about today, or your sisterhood. It will also help society, because we'll be able to get along a lot better. So, with that being said, Peacock is out.
Alicia, you're up, hon.
I would say sisterhood. It's part of our girl togetherness. It'll always be something important to us girls, and yes, men are important to us too, but you can't break that sister bond, and I just feel like it's there. And no matter how close some might be, we might be closer to others and not compared to others, but we also look out for each other as girls. And I don't think anything will ever break that up or stop that from happening in life with girls. And some might take it to the extreme and like not care about like if there's what your man has to say or anything else. But overall, sisters are there for sisters and they protect each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree with Alicia about, women have to look, as sisters, we have to make sure we look out for each other, but we also have to look out for men because I feel like they get left out. Um, Especially, the ones you care for, a friend, a brother, father, husband, boyfriend, whatever. We have to look out for them. But I'm not gonna go to the extreme, like sisterhood, like being like I will say like pro feminist because they be like anti this, anti family, anti whatever the case is. That's a whole different subject. Um, but yeah, we're here for a reason, and we always have to look out for each other and always give advice and in hand, and we do no matter what. And if somebody needs a helping hand, especially when somebody's going through hard times, always help out, no matter what it is. I will be, I'm gonna, be a sister, a mother, whatever the case is, I will help out. And, and I also help my brother when he is struggling, whatever the case is. So sisterhood also had to help in all levels, not only, our our ourselves, but we had to help you know in all overall. We have to be like brothers and sisters looking out for each other. That's all I have to say.
My final thought. Well, let's pull out this. There used to be a sisterhood. Now the question is, do you either have a sisterhood or you have a hyena hood? Because there's been a great divide as of lately. Women now started picking their side. Either they stay on the side of where women's supposed to be, the AKA pick me, AKA true wifey, or they stay on the other side where you have the feminists, AKA the hyena hood. There would have been a great topic. Sorry that I missed it because I had some pain. If you see me doing all this, I'm trying to relieve the pain because it's annoying and it's bothersome. I don't want to punch the screen out of pain or start punching the brick wall or something like that because it's annoying, but I'm trying to deal with it and try to get a chiropractor to realign this area. So this is where I'm feeling the pain at. But other than that, this is a great conversation. I'm thinking this conversation to go a little further than this because there's a lot of questions you have not been able to ask concerning this topic about so-called sisterhood and solidarity because there's now a great divide, big time. Multiple platforms are now addressing it. Some people are in for the real actual one with moral foundation, moral fortitude, while you have some, what I'm going to throw shade at, or so-called pretty intelligent, more like pretty ignorant. And you got another one called the public defender, more like a public jackass. Yes, I said it. You got a problem. And then that is my final thought.
All right, guys. I want to thank everybody coming in, especially Sean. Sean, thank you for coming in. Just remember, dude, you're always welcome here. I send you the link, so the new time is 8:30 for a while. So hopefully you can make it, brother. So let's do a quick schedule update and let's get the heck out of here because 5:30 comes really fast for me to wake up. So tomorrow is Shining Kings. David and Wally will be speaking about that. And on Thursday, Coach and Paul will be talking about finance stress. Oh, I don't want to be on. And actually, we're actually having a show on Friday. For right now, still on 9:30, but I got to talk to actual King Smith about that. So we will be speaking similar topic we spoke to a little bit today. We touched base a little bit, but we're gonna get real details on it on Friday. Me and King will be abuse, every shape, way, or form, verbal, and oh yeah, it's gonna be anybody wants to join and want to be welcome to the comments. We expect as much feedback as possible.
I'll join.
Yeah. You want to join that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what
Go ahead, Sean.
what time?
Right now it's like 9:30, but I might move it to 8:30. I gotta talk to King first to make sure he's cool with that because
That would be a very touchy subject right there.
the
Is that
reason he was. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
that Eastern?
Yes. So I'll send you the link. But the reason we came up with a topic, I was actually in Maryland having my vacation with him, and he were talking. That subject came up because he believes it's double standard. He goes, "I'll do a show." I go, "Well, why don't you use me?" And I'm a perfect example. Like that's a great idea. So that's where we're at with that. Now, then on Saturday, that moved to 8:30. Like I said, it will be Wolverine versus the Punisher. Claws, guns, or no mercy. This is gonna be a fun one. Accept that, guys. Sean, last words before we go.
I missed you guys too. Thank you for
Bro, you always have you'll always have a seat on my table. You know that. Alicia?
I would just say girls, boys, and like men, women, like we all just get along, like we all appreciate each other and just get along, sisters, brothers, just enjoy peace and love,
All right. And Mariana, last word? Witch doctor?
Look out for only look out for each other. Look out for each other because if you don't look out for each other, I don't know how, you have to. We there, we have that purpose. So that's all.
All right, David. Last thing?
Charm school and the Punisher always getting to lose a battle. That's what I'm going to say.
All right, guys. As always, I am the Spartan. He is Peacock. That is Alicia, the Witch Doctor, Baby Groot. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Bear paw.